pregnant. I'm not doing the amount of traveling that I usually do. So I decided to take some of the exercises I do in schools, libraries, and museums and record them and post them online so that you can have a little bit of Emmy Blue magic in your own home. Now today's activity, I have to say, is my favorite. And the reason why it's my favorite is it is going to provide you with hours and hours of laughter. Whether you're doing this in a classroom setting or you're doing this at home because you want to have storytelling as a daily activity, this activity is going to cause lots of laughter. So let's get started. All you need are 2 boxes or 2 baskets. And all I've used here are just like berry pints. And you can let your children either decorate them and make them big and magical and creative, or you can just go the simple route and throw, maybe some color on there. It doesn't matter. And all you have to do is label them, characters and setting. And those are 2 very important elements in storytelling. So I recommend next time you sit down and read a story with your children, or maybe during TV time, just having them identify the characters and the setting of that particular story. The reason why the pictures are down here is because this activity is actually excellent for children even if they cannot read yet. So I recommend doing this activity with preschoolers all the way up through high school. And you're going to get different results either way, but every time it's definitely positive. So after children are able to identify the characters and setting of different stories, allow them to use their creativity and come up with their own characters and setting. Now, let them go wild. I don't care how crazy it sounds to you, just write down whatever it is that they want to add to these baskets. The next part of this activity is to develop your own story using the characters and using the setting. And if you're at home, you're going to have a little bit more control, so you can choose as many characters and settings as you want. But I recommend if you're in a classroom setting that you just choose maybe 2 or 3 characters, and you do this as a group to start. If the children are older, you can already add in the 3rd element. The 3rd element is the problem. Now, the problem can be anything. And I will tell you this right now, you are going to get some crazy problems, and that's okay. Just try to make it as simple as possible. And the only part of this game is that the children must find a way for the characters to solve the problem by the end of the story. It doesn't matter how they do it, but that's the whole point. They're going to develop a story, and they have a setting and characters and a problem, and those characters must somehow solve the problem. The best thing to do at this point, because children are going to want to share their stories, is to just sit quietly for a minute and think of a story. Think of the best story you possibly can dealing with these elements. And you can do one of 2 things. One, you can have the children share their stories with their person next to them or in small groups. Or you can choose a few people to stand up and tell their stories. And you will be amazed at how different these stories are going to turn out. Children just go wild with their imaginations here. And if you're a family at home, it would be good if you took turns and you told either one story by going around in a circle, or you each shared your own story at some point during, maybe after dinner or at a holiday function. And what I always recommend is leaving these baskets out for children to play with on their own. If children are older, then I would recommend leaving paper next to the baskets so that they can add their characters and setting and problems that they want, and add paper if they want to maybe write their own stories, or draw their own stories, or act out their own stories, or do puppet shows of their own stories. The possibilities here are endless, and they're going to get the giggles, giggles, giggles. Now, we can adapt this activity to preschoolers. It's just a little bit more complicated, and they need a little bit more guidance through the whole project. I recommend doing it during circle time, so if you sit everyone down in a circle, and then you draw each of your characters and your setting and your problems. And I always recommend, making a big deal out of it. So maybe, close your eyes and shake, 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 and then let a child draw the setting, let a child draw the characters, and then you place all of the pieces on the floor and you come up with a story together. So it's more of a guided activity than an individual activity. And then during playtime, it's best if you just, leave these, and I always do simple illustrations, and as simple as I can, just to convey the idea. And honestly, they're going to see the illustration, maybe another problem is going to pop into their mind, and off they go with a new story. So, yeah, this is our activity. If you like this activity, then please like this video and help me get the word out about emmyblue.com, where I will be posting more of these videos in the future. So stay tuned, and I will see you later. Bye!